continue on. Guys, without further ado, we do have a couple of people up here on the panel. And guys, just like you normally would, I want to have a quick discussion before we get to Armin just about, hey, man, we go old school on this one. Armin has an incredible project, the Bandicoots, that we're going to talk about. And it has some amazing ties to your heartstring. And it like rips at this childlike innocence at times when you're looking at it, whether it's a tie to a video game or a movie or a television show or a comic book or an anime or any of those things. It really kind of ties back a lot of that. You get this feeling of like being a kid a little bit. And so with that, I thought we'd do a really fun question. We got about 5-6 minutes, and then we want to get on to Armin and give him some time to talk and everything. But let's go through everybody up here real quick from the team. And just, I'm going to ask you a quick question. What anime, comic, gaming project, whatever, from your childhood, do you really either call back to all the time, or I'll just go ahead and say maybe you consider your favorite? Is there one comic? Is there one video game? Is there one movie, one TV show, one card game, one something, maybe D&D, whatever it is, something that you did that you really remember and you're like, my goodness, man, that anime really affected who I became? Or, hey, that's been my favorite forever. So I'll go to you first, Christian, just because being our myth weaver, and I know you have a love for anime like I do. I'm interested, but I know you like a lot of other stuff too. So what was it for you, man? What was your favorite from being a kid?
To narrow that down into a single one is impossible. So, Naruto and One Piece, and for video games, it was classic Modern Warfare 2. Those three things changed my life forever. Naruto, because it taught me to never give up, to always persevere, to basically explore my identity and always make friends with the people around me, fight for them. One Piece because of loyalty, pursuing dreams, unity, facing adversity together. And then like it woke me up to a lot of like real world issues, because it shows like slavery, the elite, and all that kind of stuff in that show. And it inspired me to do a lot of research. And then Modern Warfare 2, because that just like friendships online have lasted longer than the friendships I've made in person. So like those people I'll always remember. That's it for me.
Man, what a great answer. I can't even I can't top that one myself. That's awesome, Christian. I absolutely love that. So Trav, I'm gonna go to you next, and only because I want to give Meg a chance. Meg, just give me a thumbs up or something if you have time to talk, or if you're tied up, then we won't. Okay, there we go. Cool. So Trav, go ahead, man. What was your favorite? Did you have a favorite game, comic, or do you have like kind of a mishmash like Christian does?
Well, I wasn't really like growing up. I didn't do comics or anything like that. I was always outdoors, playing outdoors. I grew up in the desert, so we were always like going around hiking, exploring old mines, lizard hunting, and all that stuff. But game-wise, Nintendo or Super Nintendo Star Fox in 1993. That was my game. Yep.
That's incredible, man. What a great callback, bro. And that gave me like serious vibe feel. Now, was it just something you liked, like you loved just the feel of playing it, or did it give you like an escapism feeling? What was it?
It was just the overall game, the whole, like, to me, it was kind of like a flight simulator in a way, but because I was always wanted to be a fighter pilot, and it was just something that I was attracted to. It was really a fun game for me.
Oh, man, badass. That game was so good, bro. That game was so good. So, Meg, I'll go to you next, man. What is it for you, man? What was it? Was there a comic? Was there a game? Is there a mix? You tell me. What was it?
Man, there's just so much. I'm gonna try to razor down just a few. I would say once Image came out and the Spawn series came out, I really got into like the anti-hero of Al Simmons in that series. I was really into Todd McFarlane. But the entire Marvel, the universe, I love Wolverine and, just, all the different characters there. Star Wars probably is one that sat with me pretty much my entire life. It was one of the first movies I saw with my family, with my parents in the movie theater with Return of the Jedi. And I was just really into Star Wars. I carried that over into a lot of the video games. I was heavily into Star Wars Galaxies, which was a huge MMORPG at the time by Sony Online Entertainment, and just took over the server. I was like the second wealthiest person on that server, and we were Imperials, and we caused a lot of havoc, I'll tell you that. But I love MMORPGs. And yeah, it's really hard just to narrow it down because, I'm a huge Transformers fan. So I love Transformers, a cartoon, and, just about every sci-fi or comic that's ever came out. I've definitely read it, browsed it, or collected it.
Man, my man, I look, dude, you and I are like exactly the same. And don't fret, Armin. I'm definitely going to get to you and allow you to take a hit at this also, because it's kind of part of our discussion tonight. Anyway, so for myself, guys, again, this becomes a very difficult question. And so I have two different phases. One, unfortunately, it's not really my jam to talk about anymore. So I'm going to skip that fandom just because that one is kind of skewed off to the left a little bit for me. But the other one is from my childhood, and it goes back to being like a kid, an athlete, and playing all the time, and literally not really having any free time to do a whole lot of stuff of like kind of like what Trav was saying. Like I played outside a lot and stuff, but then I also was doing sports literally like all the time. So like even from when I was like 5 years old, and my earliest memories are, and again, some of you that were athletes or in band or any of the stuff where you had to do, weekend events or you're always doing things, you really find like when you're doing it all the time, you have to steal moments to yourself. And like these little times off in the corner in a basketball gym or, on a park bench outside when nobody's there. And for me, like to get away from the craziness of like the sports side of it, I got into comics and I started reading like, the stories of like Spider-Man first. And then I jumped up and started reading stuff with Iron Fist and Moon Knight and Nova. Just, for me, that whole idea of like being a superhero or being somebody else was always like it was such a big thing because I always felt myself, like I kind of lived two worlds like that thing. So it always felt like I did this on this side, but then there's this other hidden thing that just was really cool, but it had nothing to do with a bat or a ball or football or any of that stuff. It was totally like costumes or whatever. And I'll just end it and say the dopest thing for me is I was able to hold on to that throughout my entire life. And so because I was able to hold on to that, I still like go to, all the Comic Cons and all that kind of stuff. I always tell the story. The first time first time I got invited to go to San Diego, instead of having to pay, I like literally dressed up full gear and like I was like in full on costume mode or whatever. And so cosplay. So it's like one of the things that I love that I've held on to. I'm sharing that a little bit with my kids and my sons and all that. And they kind of have it even now that they're 15 and athletes, way better athletes than I am. And so it's just cool. And it leaves just kind of this child wonderment that kind of comes back. And that's really what I want to kind of start with as we kind of introduce our friend Armin today and the Blockchain Bandicoots. Trav has kind of been purporting all the amazing things about the Bandicoots for a while now, and I got to be honest, it is just such a cool UI and experience to get in there and look at it and move around. Forget anything else, just moving around. And like I said, the very first thing you do, obviously there's an instant connection, that we don't necessarily need to go too far into it, but there's an instant connection when you look at it. And it carried me back, man. I'm thinking of like video games, and then I'm thinking of like G.I. Joes, and I'm thinking of playing stuff with friends. It's just all of these like feelings balled up for me for the Bandicoots. And so, Guys, the Blockchain Bandicoots is a collection of 5,000 piece unique NFTs living on the Ethereum blockchain. I want to welcome to the show tonight and to our rebranding show here, Moonizens Monday, Armin. And ladies, guys, let me just introduce a guy. He's a man of immense creativity and vision. He's the driving force behind the Blockchain Bandicoots, the CEO of the project. Armin has an extensive background in crypto and Web3 since 2019. He's no stranger to the world of digital innovation. His passion for anime, comics, and retro electronics has always been a part of his life, inspiring him to fuse his interests into a single comprehensive project, the Blockchain Bandicoots. His entry into the NFT space in early 2021 sparked a dream of creating something truly special, and his steadfast dedication has brought this dream to fruition. As the founder and CEO of Blockchain Bandicoots, Armin has funded and driven this project entirely himself, showcasing not only his belief in the project, but his commitment in bringing it to life and Web3. What sets Armin apart is his multifaceted creativity, from music and short films to editing video and pictures and creating captivating narratives. These skills have been artfully incorporated into the Blockchain Bandicoots projects, creating a uniquely immersive experience for the NFT community. Armin's dedication to the project extends to assembling an amazing team that has helped create the project's unique artwork, motion comic, and animated series. He's a champion for transparency, prioritizing community trust and credibility through robust KYC verification with Assure DeFi. Armin, a man of many talents, is an embodiment of the spirit of the blockchain revolution. Innovative, fearless, and forward-thinking. Under his leadership, the Bandicoots is more than an NFT. It's a testament to the limitless possibilities of blockchain technology and a beacon of the future of entertainment. Let's give a warm welcome to Armin. Armin, how are you doing, man?
Damn, what an intro. That is huge. Like, honestly, thank you so much for having me here, guys. That is incredible to hear. And I feel like people don't really sit down and like give themselves enough credit. You know, we're all just like working. But to hear somebody else say stuff like that, it's huge. So I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you having me up here. And we're all so similar. We're already meshing like crazy, and we just started talking to each other. And just like you guys talking about those video games, like all of those are the same here. Whether it be like the Nintendo or Star Fox, and talking about cosplay, like I've played all those games. I've dressed up and went to the movies, and like it's all the same, and I love it. And this is why we're gonna mesh super well together. So thank you.
That is awesome, man. I am so excited to get this. So let's go. I know, we got a lot to cover, and we got about 20 minutes, and I wanted to make sure that we got to hit everything. So, tell me a little bit, first and foremost, just how you got started in crypto. I know, you had a time you were with roommate, and you kind of saw his evolution, and then it just blew up from there. So kind of tell me a little bit about where you started, man.
Yeah, definitely. So in I would say, I don't even remember now, but it was over 10 years ago. My roommate got into Bitcoin, and I always thought it was like, it's not going to last, whatever. And Bitcoin was, I don't remember what it was. It was like $50 at the time. I'm like, dude, what are you doing buying this fake money? Anyways, fast forward multiple years later, and I watch him and his portfolio get to almost $1 million. And I'm like, okay, wow, there is definitely something here. So I started researching, and then I got into Bitcoin, and then a little bit later got into Ethereum, just kind of experimenting just with those two coins. And then the whole NFT craze came about, and I started dabbling. I got into Shiboshis. I got into World of Women before the big pump when Guy Oseri took over. So I got to experience that euphoria of like an NFT that I purchased for low going like super high. So that was like a really cool experience. And then I started flipping Shiboshis, which was a really cool experience. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? There's more to this than just like buying and selling NFTs. And I've also been part of rug pull NFTs where I buy, lose all my money, And I think it's really important to be a holder before you're a project founder, because you can see the pros and cons of what it's like to be a holder. So ever since I made that decision, I said I wanted to make something genuine. I wanted to be completely transparent with everything I do. And it was very important that I reverse engineer the project. So I want to have everything ready to go upon mint. So that's basically what we've done. As soon as we started minting, we were able to ship out those comic books, and now those comic books, we'll get into it a little bit. Getting ahead of myself here, but those comic books have been shipped all across the world: United States, Canada, Ireland, Dubai, you name it. It's probably been there.
It's tough, man. I'm telling you, bro. It's hard. I have been in that seat now twice, and I thought, man, I do these interviews all the time, bro. Like, I'm hella good. They can tell me all they want. I'm gonna be perfect. Everything's gonna be straight. And then what happens? I get in and I start just spilling the beans, and I start saying stuff that they're gonna ask me in like 10 seconds and all that. So I totally got you. Don't even worry, bro. I want to go into that for sure. I want to kind of get more into how you gamify the experience of owning a Bandicoot, why that's important, and why you did that. But look, like I said, we got about 20, 30 minutes on this, and I want to make sure we get with, I want to make sure we get the most important piece here, which is the elevator pitch, bro. Like, guys, if you have not heard this elevator pitch, it is solid. Like, this is really, really good. Really, really good. So I want to give him a chance to do this because there's no better explanation of what the Bandicoots are. And that will lead us into kind of maybe, where this came from and the story and a little bit of stuff like that. We'll get into that as well. So go ahead, man. I kind of gave you a little bit of time to get ready and get going, and we'll hit it in 3, 2, 1, and pitch.
Bandicoot Guardians are the protectors of the blockchain world Buroku-chen. An evil mastermind named Corruption has infected the blockchain, corrupting bandicoots all across their world. On Kobe's first day of Guardian training, he gets attacked by a corrupted bandicoot, and to his surprise, he's saved by 2 blockchain developers from the real world, Devin and Kari. When the 3 are bombarded by a horde of corrupted bandicoots, Devin thinks quickly and copies Kobe's code to create several bandicoots to protect them. And that was the day 5,000 blockchain bandicoots were born.
Bro, that's as smooth as it gets. And guys, Tim and I had a long conversation the other night about how important it is to be immersive in everything you are doing in this space right now, because it sets you apart from just being a PFP with a picture in it. It gives you something. It gives you like some gravitas, a feeling inside of you, and that is Bandicoot all the way. I don't know how else to say it, man. It felt I could hear like a narrator's voice doing that over like the like images. Just ridiculously cool, bro. Like, awesomely cool. So let's go into that a little bit, man. Let's talk a little bit about your approach, to kind of gamifying everything. And you kind of touched on it a little bit with the reverse engineering and all that. But let's start first and foremost with, you went into the point of like flipping and doing this stuff. You're like, man, I can do something better. And you and I talked about it. You have this love from comics that goes back to like X-Men and all these kind of amazing stories that had these ties to movies and things like that, right? And that helped you and inspired you to kind of build the Bandicoots and then eventually get to where you're doing the reverse engineering. So I kind of want you to take us through that process a little bit and get to the point then where why you thought it was important to do that. Because guys, I'm telling you right now, I am not out here to try to make your project spend money up front or do any of this kind of stuff. But I will simply say that if you don't listen to how he kind of has this planned, you're not paying attention to a different way to kind of do stuff. And so I want you to take this all the way through to I'll just say it. We'll say the F word. I'm going to leave it at the F word, and then we'll leave it there. It might be a PH word if it on yours, you know what I'm talking about. So go from your inception to that before we move on, and then we'll get to the next piece, because this is a really cool kind of how this was built.
Oh man, that is awesome. That is it's so funny. I'm like sitting here, I'm like, what word is it? What word is it? But right from the get-go, I always knew that there was a story that I wanted to tell. Okay? Like I knew there was a story inside of me that had adventure, that had people wanting to, wait till the next chapter comes out. For me as a kid, when I was watching Dragon Ball Z and I'm waiting for Goku to actually turn Super Saiyan after so many damn episodes, or fighting Frieza, or whatever it is, watching One Piece, there's always that, you know, inside there's like a fire burning. You like need to know what's happening. And I wanted to recreate that on a different level with my Blockchain Bandicoots. So I wanted to make a comic book, but more so a full anime. So this story, I was like, all right, I have this idea. How can I immerse this into the blockchain as well as Web3 and NFTs? I wanted to create a good sounding name. So originally, I wanted like an alliteration. So like cool cats. It's off the tongue. It's a cool. It's memorable. So I started going through all the letters, and then I came to blockchain, and I was like blockchain bandicoots. And as soon as I had that name, it was like game over, because the ideas started flowing. It just like out of nowhere, I had all of these ideas, different chapters, and mind you, the chapter that's out now, it's been changed like 9,000 times. The original story had 4 students in it, and there were no bandicoots. So it's crazy to see how far it's come, and it's really nice to see, because I have all the rough drawings, I have the rough script as well. So it's really cool, and like down the line, I'll release those. You can actually see the rough sketches on YouTube, but it's really cool to see how far we've come with everything, and it's just been a really cool experience. It's been over a year and a half that I've been creating this, and we've only just started minting 3 months ago, and we're almost at 1,000 mints in just 3 months. So it's been a really, really crazy experience. I can't imagine where we are in a year from now. And, from having the comic book printed, we're going to release basically chapter 1.5 very soon. We have a motion comic on YouTube that's 5.5 minutes long. We've got different clips, like the one that's pinned up at the top. That's like a 40-second anime clip. My buddy and I did the voiceovers for it. And yeah, just like meeting awesome people like yourselves, I've been able to do other cool things. So here's a little fun fact that I didn't tell you earlier, and then I will stop talking because I might be going off on a tangent here. But I went to VCon last weekend, just a few days ago, and I met this dude who is actually friends with Chris Sabat. And for those of you who knows Chris Sabat, he's the voice for Vegeta and Piccolo and Zoro. And yeah, I gave this guy my comic book, and he's like, dude, Chris Sabat likes to help projects like yours do cool shit. So he is going to reach out to him, and who knows, we could have Chris freaking Sabat on the Blockchain Bandicoot anime when that eventually comes out. It's just like meeting people, making connections. Like that's what it's all about. That's the name of the game, and that's why I really resonate with you guys, because you're really here to help other projects. And as soon as you guys start minting, we're going to be pushing for you as well, and that's how we get together.
1,000,000%, man. And I am telling you, dude, you said that and it clicked. The voice alone imagery in my head with that and you telling that story is just ridiculous, guys. So look, I'll say this. You're still 16 out. Yeah. Are you still 16 out from 20%?
We are. Yeah. We're 16 out from 20%. So it's close, man. And we also have some mint bounties going on. So what we do for our mint bounties is we post different NFTs from my personal wallet. Basically, I'm just like giving away fun stuff. Like you can win one of 4 NFTs: Invisible Enemies, Pogs, Puff Puff Pandas, Yeti Friends, or $50 in ETH. And in those, there's only 5 winners. So 5 winners out of 22 mints. That's like a 1 in 4 chance, basically. So I try and make it as fun as possible for everybody. And yeah, if you guys just like go through my my wallet, blockchainbandicoots.eth, you'll see how much we've given away over the last 3 months. It's kind of hilarious. I love giving stuff away. I love shipping extra stuff out to people for no reason, and it's just fun.
It's all about the fidgetals, man. All about the fidgetals, bro. So
yes, that's the word. That's the word. Digital plus physical equals digital. Yes, guy.
You knew it, man. Come on, like that killed me, Armin, when you said that earlier. So so let's kind of go into it, man. I mean, you talked a little bit about we've talked about the project. You know, we know where you're kind of sitting. You know, we'll get into where they can kind of find you guys and all that stuff here in just a bit. I love all the interactivity that you're doing, and again, that kind of feeling of just, I don't know, like that childlike feeling you get being able to kind of read the comic or look at some of the digital stuff or do any of the kind of things that has that feel to it. So tell me what's next, man. Like what do you have coming out? I know you've talked a little bit about the comics and the stickers and some of that stuff, but tell me about what's next and what you guys have planned in the future.
For sure, for sure. So our first milestone was originally at 50%. So right away we were doing the comic books up front. So honestly, we do somebody said this to me. It was Fidgetal, actually, the actual guy named Fidgetal on Twitter. He said that we're basically doing 99% more than 99% of NFT projects out there just by doing the comic book. And when he said that, I was like, you know what? It is very true. How many NFTs have we all bought because it's a cool profile picture, right? And there's nothing against that. We're, you know, NFTs are artwork and you buy it for nice artwork as well, and that's a huge portion, right? That's definitely 100%. But it is fun to get something in real life too. So, you know, the comic book makes it really, really fun for people. So, you know, right away, we get that comic book out. The next part we did was here's a little backstory that I did not mention earlier. If you scroll down, you'll actually see Trav. He's got the retro style Bandicoot profile picture. Um, if you guys see that, that was originally supposed to be the Blockchain Bandicoot collection. But what happened was, is we started marketing in like November and December, and a lot of people said, "Hey, listen, your motion comic, your anime, they all look really, really good. It's like very streamlined, but your NFTs are pixel style artwork, and it didn't really mesh." And I felt the same way, but I never really spoke it. And then as soon as we actually started talking with our community, we did a revamp. So we paused our mint for about 6 weeks and did like a full refresh to the PFP that you see that I'm rocking right now. So now all of our NFTs look like this comic book style Bandicoot. So that was a really cool refresh that we did last minute, and I am so happy that we did it because now everything kind of meshes. Our anime, motion comic, and NFTs all look very flush. But I was sitting on an entire retro Bandicoot collection that I spent hundreds of hours, legit hundreds of hours, on Photoshop making assets, making all the combinations, making sure it works. And I said, how can I give back to the community? So I did a free mint. That thing minted out in like 10 minutes, which was crazy. We did it on a space and it was a free mint, just went crazy. Then I saved hundreds of NFTs for our holders as well. So everybody who had a Blockchain Bandicoot at that time got that free mint. So that was one thing that wasn't even on the roadmap that we tossed in there. The stickers, we sent stickers out with all of our comic books. That was definitely not in there as well, but it's like I wanted to just continue to give back. And then the 50% mark is when our Blockchain Bandicoot items come out. And these items are more real world gifts. It's a 1-for-1. So if you have one Bandicoot, you'll get one Blockchain Bandicoot item NFT. And depending on which item you get, depends on what you get in real life. So you could get a sticker pack, you could get a hat, you could get a poster, a canvas, ETH prizes, and it's going to be free for you guys. So that's kind of like a nice incentive to have a Blockchain Bandicoot. But I wanted to make something at the 25% mark, in between where we are now and the 50%. And you know what? I have lots of story to tell. I'm a storyteller. I create universes. So I created the Cybernode Punks and Soul Blade X. What that story is basically the in between of chapter 1 and chapter 2 of Blockchain Bandicoots. Our story takes place in the blockchain world with our two developers getting sucked in, but there's an entire story that's happening in the real world. And that's exactly what Soul Blade X and the Cybernode Punks are. So what that will be is a free mint for everybody that is a holder. There's only going to be probably around 300 NFTs. They're animated NFTs. With those NFTs, you're also getting a free comic book of Cybernode Punks and the Soul Blade X. So just right there, not even at 25%. There's 2 comic book releases, and yeah, we're just gonna like slowly ramp up, and it's just a fun future ahead.
I thought I was gonna have to mute you there for a second because I thought I was gonna like you were about to like drop something that I forgot. I was gonna be like, I don't know if you want to share that with everybody because it's a hella dope idea that somebody here is gonna snatch, bro. Like if you do that. I just thought about that and I was like about to ask you that question, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that because this is a six. There's not enough 6 in the world for me to tell you how sick the idea is that he has, especially if you are a comic book guy or person, I should say, somebody that really likes lore and comics and all that stuff. This idea is it's badass, kind of how he described it. So, well, man, this has been awesome. I know we covered, like, we scratched just the surface. While I think you guys got a really good peek into Armin's project, I did want to kind of leave one thought before we say goodbye to Armin. I wanted him to just talk really quickly, just really quick, man. Tell us who you have working with you and kind of the dynamics of the project, because I think it's pretty amazing when you guys hear this part. So go ahead, Armin.
Yeah, definitely. That's so funny. I know exactly what you're talking about, and yeah, I agree. So, what it is, sorry, our partners that we're partnered with is we have Shopify, as well as Perks. So those are our 2 main staples when it comes to the physical goods that we're dishing out. What we do is Shopify has this app called Perks, and it allows for token gated distribution of gifts. So what we do is if you have an NFT of a Bandicoot, you go to our website. From there, you'll be able to connect your wallet, and then you'll get past that token gate. Then you can redeem that NFT for that physical comic book. So it's not like you're losing your NFT. You're just trying to use it as a key to get past the door. Once you're in the door, then you're able to check out and get your comic book. So from there, we've been shipping out comics all across the world. It's been a really awesome experience seeing where we've shipped it to, like all the way to Dubai and Ireland and Australia and Italy. Like it's just crazy to see how far these comics have gone. You know, a poster has been shipped as far as Italy. I have a poster getting shipped to Australia right now, and then another poster getting shipped to the States tomorrow. So it's just like a very fun experience. The digital aspect is huge. So definitely shout outs to Perks, shout outs to Shopify. They make it really, really easy. And it's a streamlined experience. And then from there, obviously, I have to give a shout out to Blas Roa. He's our comic book artist. He takes my ideas, I send him these hilarious sketches, and he brings them to life. And he's just like working nonstop with me, as well as Daniela, who is our motion comic animator. Daniela is like an angel. She will work, you know, if I need something done within like 3 days, like to those people who understand like animation, it takes a long time to get that stuff done. So she's just like totally on board with everything, and I'm never going to change my team. You know, my team is my team, and you know, we can get shit done in like a week. We can get shit done in yeah, pretty much a week is like the fastest we can work, but it's been awesome. And obviously all my mods and my community members, and just like working with different partners like Alpha Shares and Apes Together Strong, and now Moonizens. Like, we're very, very blessed to meet all these different people. And yeah, I'm pumped to grow together.
Yeah, we are too, man. Look, I can tell you guys this. Please go and check out Armin and the Bandicoots. Armin, real quick, man, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find you on Twitter, all your handles or your socials, anything like that you want to drop. Let us know where we can find you, man.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, thank you for that. So blockchainbandicoots.com, that's our main website. You can find everything there. You can mint a Bandicoot there. You could check out our 3D world there. It's very cool. You can walk around, look up, down, right, take a picture in our 3D world. You could read our white paper, 25-page white paper. You could read our 30-page comic. You could watch our 5.5-minute motion comic episode there. You can learn about Blockchain Bandicoot items. You could learn about element challenges. So definitely check out blockchainbandicoots.com. Follow us on Twitter at official_BCBC. And definitely jump in our Discord. We have some awesome community members. We're sending pictures of our hobbies all the time. People shadowboxing, dancing, cars, hanging out by the pool, talking about life. We watch anime every few days or so. We jump in the Discord lounge and watch some Dexter's Lab and Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls. It's good times. So definitely come join us, come hang out and vibe out.
Man, thank you so much, Armin. Thank you so much for being on the show. It has been an absolute pleasure. Guys, we are just at about an hour. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. However, we do want to get to some closing thoughts and all those kind of things. I also have our lore segment that I definitely wanted to try to touch on. So I'm going to kind of put Christian on the spot here. I know you had a bit of an extended one to do today. What I am going to say, because there's no rules. I can kind of do whatever we want, right? Like, no one's really telling us what to do. So, I mean, we can hold a space at any time tomorrow and like do something so people can hear the lore if we wanted to schedule that. And people would probably want to spend 15 minutes just on a quick space and, hey, what's the lore? I don't see any problem with that. It would actually be kind of cool to separate it maybe, but we'll see. So what about this? Is there any like teaser or maybe a little taste or a picture? You're like, when you're on like a radio show and they say something like we saw AEW last night and Kenny Omega said something pretty inflammatory, and we're going to talk about it after this break. Do you have anything like that you can give us that will drop that maybe what you will be talking about when we do that?
Oh, okay. I had this whole thing, but to save some time, I'm just gonna, I guess, read a little tiny segment of it.
Yeah, literally just give us a taste, because I do want to do the whole thing like tomorrow. I want to do like a 30-minute space or 20-minute space and go through some lore stuff. So give them a little taste and then we'll come back, because this is cool.
Okay, so the lunar base was enveloped in a ripple of resplendent geometric symbols that echoed throughout the solar system. The event was so potent that even the Martians, diligently observing from their far-off home, felt the profound tremors of this cosmic event. The symbols mirrored those etched on the previously discovered tablets that we've talked about in previous lore, cementing the belief that a profound cosmic event was unfolding. And I'll leave it at that, but that was like the middle part.
Dude, I love that. I will not say the S word. I love this stuff so much, man. And like I said, guys, it is the most expansive story that you have ever heard. You guys, I'm telling you, man, like it's going to get crazy when we start to unfold everything. The stuff that Christian has come up with, the characters, the levels of world building that he has touched on. Woo! Very, very cool. So, guys, let's go around and give some final thoughts. Christian, do you have anything to kind of share with us, or do you want that to be your final thoughts?
I guess I'll just leave it off as humanity stood on the precipice of an extraordinary journey. Their fate was about to intertwine with the Chuids, forever altering the course of their destiny, and the invasion is coming. And I'm glad to see that Armin was able to come here and hang out with the Moonizen crowd. It was really cool to see your project. I'm highly interested in your story. I'm all about lore, so I would love to learn more about your world.
Yeah, it is so cool, man. You will absolutely love it. So, Trav, my friend, final thoughts. I'm sure you wanted to say hi, something. I'm sorry.
You're good. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out. Thank Armin for coming as well, showcasing his project. Amazing project he's got going. And the comic book is amazing. I did get one, very good quality, and definitely check out his Discord. He does a lot of activities in there, including some storytelling where he goes through and like talks about how he created what he put in the video and why he put that there, and then music, and yeah, it's a real fun Discord to hang out in.
Incredible.
Yo, that
Incredible. Go ahead. Sorry, Arm. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say thank you. Like, that's so awesome. I love your guys' lore. I love everything you got going on. You have such a strong community already, and you haven't even minted yet. So, I'm pumped for you guys. I can't wait to go to bat for you guys as well. Something I did forget is that I am doing a giveaway for the space. So instead of pulling it, you know, with Twitter Picker, I've screenshot everybody that's in this room. I'm gonna put it on a wheel of names, and then I'll pull it in my Discord, and then I will contact whoever is the winner. I'm doing a $25 giveaway and sending out a sticker pack, so that's kind of fun.
Incredible, man. Incredible. I'm so excited for just to kind of look more into the project, but also to kind of see, let's do this. Let's say when you get closer to 50%, then we will have you back on, because I think that's going to be pretty cool too. So, Meg, final thoughts, man.
Hey, yeah, no, I appreciate Armin for coming in and talking about his awesome project and all the wonderful people that's down there in the listening group, all listening into us on this beautiful Wednesday evening. I want to say that, there's a lot of inspiration in the Bandicoots. They're doing a lot of stuff now, like comic books and animated comic books, and we're getting to the fun part, right? We're a few days away from our the private sale that we're doing, and then it's going to go public with whatever supplies left, and we get into the fun stuff. The Moonizens will be born, and the story's out in the public, and that's exciting. So, I love these bridges, these amazing projects on Ethereum here. There's a lot of amazing projects out there on a lot of different chains, and it's important that we create these bridges, with all these different technologies that we have and experiences. So, again, Armin, thank you for all the community down there. Thank you. I see the pirates down there. You guys are coming in deep. But I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Man, I could not have said it better myself. Armin, thank you so much for coming on. And guys, that is our show for the day. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. As we always say, I just want to say thank you to Spook, thank you to Leet, thanks to Mega, thanks Trav, thanks Nick, thanks Ely, thanks Christian, my man. And of course, we would not be able to do any of this without you guys, the community. Thank you. The Moonizens would not be where it is without you. Without you, we are nothing. So for myself, my co-hosts, my guests, and for the Moonizens, tune in next time. We'll be back in about 2 weeks, where we will do a little bit more of a Moonizen meetup. And remember, DeFi doesn't build character, it reveals it. See ya!